Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bad Movie Night. My name's Chris, and tonight I'm talking about the movie Sator. It just came out. It is written, directed, edited, scored by, colored by, everything done by Jordan Graham. This is a very deep and personal story for him, as it has actual footage of his grandmother. The movie is about a family and centers around Adam, the main character, but this family that kind of lives this isolated life alone in the woods, even though they don't all live together. Adam kind of lives even more isolated by himself. And his grandmother keeps kind of just telling these stories about Sator, this demonic presence that kind of just is part of her life and part of this whole family's life. And the movie revolves around Adam kind of trying to search for this being or kind of discover what happened to his mother, and will basically unravel some of this mystery with the Sator presence. It is a very ambiguous movie in a lot of ways. The storyline, it's not a very strong narrative. There's a lot of mood and atmosphere to this thing. And like I said, I know it is a personal story to Jordan Graham because it does have actual footage of his grandmother who actually talks about this Sator thing in real life. She did at one point, I guess, have dementia and has since died since this movie has been completed. But I know he shot scenes with her and kind of adjusted his storyline to fit with what she was saying. And so this movie is kind of feels like a very personal thing about possibly dementia or possibly this supernatural thing involving his real life family. But let's put that to the side for now and talk about the production and everything like that. This movie is fantastically made. Like, it is shot very well. It is extremely moody, extremely atmospheric, has a great look. There is beauty in the nature, but also horror behind it as well, the way he captures this isolated feel. The character wanders around a forest that is lush and green, but every time, every tree in the darkness of the shadows, you feel like Sator is out watching you. A minimal lighting kind of look as well when you're alone in this cabin, deep shadows around all sides of the room and stuff like that. Again, it feels very oppressive and it works to great effect, backed up by a very minimal music score that Jordan Graham composed himself, just kind of all building towards this tone that sets you unease. And now, this is not a mainstream movie in any way. I think a lot of people will watch the first 20 minutes of this and say, nothing's happening, this is boring, turn it off. And for the most part, not much like action happens. There is some payoff by the end, but the movie is a very, very slow burn, and it is ambiguous. It is not hand-holdy. It does not answer a lot of questions. It leaves a lot up to the viewer. But I think on repeat viewings, you might get more out of it as well, because the camera work, while great and specific, there are things in the shot that aren't pointed out to the viewer, I will say. There are little hidden things, it seems like, that perhaps on a second viewing you will take in. This movie kind of reminds me of something like Hagazusa or maybe The Witch, although people that find that movie boring will most certainly find this movie unbelievably boring. So I liked it quite a bit, but like I said, it is slow. I enjoy a good slow burn movie. There's not much character development or anything like that. The movie is kind of told in a weird way as well, where you're getting kind of flashbacks to events that don't really answer a lot of questions, but just kind of provide you with a look into this family's existence and how this Sator thing has kind of affected everyone. At first, you're kind of thinking it's just this old woman who has dementia and just kind of saying these crazy things, but the movie starts to unravel a little more, and it's hard to say whether the director's exploiting his grandmother with her ramblings about Sator or exploring them with his family because they affected his family so much. I mean, you could say that this movie is a contemplation on dementia, but with a horror sheen or something like that, because this movie in reality could just be about dementia and how it affects the entire family, and perhaps Adam as well being worried about this, and the monster and the presence in the woods really just being his insecurity and his fear of this as well. So this is a movie that demands your full attention, and if you just have it on the side, you're really not going to get much out of it. There's no cheap thrills or kills like that. it's just a movie that kind of builds since from the beginning on this tension. There are some violent sequences by the end of the movie, but it doesn't answer all of its questions. But again, I'm not really sure what questions it's asking either. It's just a very ambiguous movie, but it's a very consistent and congruent movie that is just feels like a very specific vision of the director Jordan Graham, and executed very well. So I liked it. I don't think it's for everyone. If you like Hagazusa and The Witch and slow burn movies that are ambiguous with their narrative and explanations, then maybe give it a shot. Otherwise, I would avoid this one. But that's going to do it for Sator. I will catch you here next time, guys. Goodbye.